I grew up hearing only whispers about my grandfather, Samuel Sam Whitlock, a quiet rancher from rural Texas who vanished in 1947 without explanation. No one knew whether he ran away, died, or was taken. The only thing he left behind was a cabin deep in the Mesquite woods. A cabin sealed shut, boarded windows, padlocked doors, metal sheets nailed across the entrance like a vault. My family never touched it. Greater than some doors stay closed, my father always said. Leave the past where it belongs. But after Dad passed, the land and the cabin became mine. And I couldn't ignore it anymore. The journey into the woods. The woods behind the ranch always felt heavier than the rest of the land. As I walked toward the cabin, the cicadas went quiet. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. The cabin stood exactly as it had for decades, untouched, sun-beaten, and wrapped in chains now rusted orange by time. One thing immediately struck me. The nails in the planks across the door were hammered from the inside. My heart kicked hard in my chest. Why would anyone seal themselves in? I raised the crowbar. The first board cracked. Dust exploded out like trapped air from a tomb. Piece by piece, I dismantled 78 years of silence. Inside the cabin, the smell hit first, old pine, paper, and something metallic. Inside, everything was frozen in time. A tin coffee can still on the stove. A rocking chair mid-swing as if someone had left moments ago. A desk covered in yellowed papers. A lantern that hadn't been lit in decades. It was as if my grandfather had been living here and then simply disappeared. I found a leather-bound journal on the desk. The last entry was dated August 12, 1947, the day he vanished. But before I could read it, something caught my eye. A series of deep claw marks on the inside of the door. Not human, not animal I recognized. 5 long, curved gouges in the wood, desperate, frantic. The hair on my arms rose. The journal. I sat at the desk and opened the journal with trembling hands. The early entries were normal, ranch notes, supply lists, weather. But then, the handwriting changed. Became shaky, uneven, terrified, greater than, they come at night. Tracks around the cabin, not coyote, not wolf, eyes in the trees, yellow, watching. My grandfather described humanoid shapes stalking the woods. Tall, silent, fast. He wrote about hearing footsteps circling the cabin for hours. Scratching on the walls, whispering through the cracks. And then the final entry. Greater than, I nailed the door shut. If they come inside, I won't survive. If anyone finds this, don't stay. Don't follow. Don't look for me. The ink trailed off like his hand had been pulled away mid-sentence. My blood went cold. The back room. There was only one place left to check, the back room. The door was brittle, swollen from age. I pushed it open. Inside was nothing but a collapsed cot, and the unmistakable shape of footprints burned into the wooden floor. Long, narrow, deep impressions like something incredibly heavy had stood there. And beside them, a hole in the wall. A perfect, clean hole. As if something had broken out. Not in. The final discovery. Behind the cabin, overgrown by brush, I found an old storm cellar. Its door was shattered, hinges bent outward. Inside were piles of belongings. My grandfather's torn coat, a broken rifle, empty lanterns, and black, oily residue smeared across the walls. In the deepest corner, I found a final note, scribbled on a scrap of fabric with charcoal. Greater than, I ran. Not far enough. If this finds you, turn back. Don't let 'em know you're here. At that moment, every hair on my neck stood straight. Because from the trees behind me, I heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling, just like he described. Epilogue. I didn't run. I didn't scream. I walked calmly back to my truck, refusing to look over my shoulder. I haven't gone back to the cabin since that day. But sometimes, late at night, I wake up to the sound of footsteps outside my window. Slow, deliberate, circling, exactly like my